We got the gaming shelf showing up. He's on time. What's up, players? Oh, yeah. Live now. Let's give everybody a minute to get in here. Oh, yeah. I love this. Oh, man. All right. All right, cool. It looks like our Discord friends are getting in here from the community. It looks like our YouTube and our, oh yeah, we've got our Twitter friends. We've got our Instagram friends joining in. Got our Discord friends. Everybody's getting here today. You know why? You know why everybody's here today? Because they know that this is the best part of your entire week, possibly even your entire month, and maybe, just maybe, of your entire life. But you can still make it better. And if you want to know how to make it better, if you want to know how to take this stream up to the absolute top level, if you would like to reach the heights of humanity and the culmination of all of civilization, all you need to do is right now find yourself something to drink. I've got a gompyo, a bear beer, and lift it with me now. Join me in a Cheers with Chaps. Cheers. Oh my, that is delicious. All right, let's kill Discord on here. It's beeping at me. Can't be having that. Can't be having any Discord beeps during our stream, especially because today we have an excellent lesson planned. Today, I'm going to be teaching you what you need to do in order to never be ghosted again and never have to deal with flakes. Oh, what's up, Coot? Cheers, buddy. And Australia Adam, cheers to you. Cheers, mate. Isn't that the thing? And we've got Angel in here as well. Angel. Beautiful. Now, gentlemen, start your engines because today we're going to be teaching you exactly how to never get ghosted again. But you're going to have to pay close attention because I'm going to go through a lot in this stream. So let's start with number one. You need to leave them wanting more. What does that even mean? Well, it means that no matter what kind of interaction you're having, whether it's your first meeting, whether you're talking on the street, whether you're having a date, whatever the situation is, by the end of it, they should want it to continue more, even though it's not. They should be excited for your next meeting. They should be excited for what comes next. You need to leave them wondering about, oh my gosh, how can he make this even better than he already has? The first thing you're going to do in service of that is you're going to create mystery, intrigue, and confusion. Now, creating mystery, intrigue, and confusion comes in a variety of different ways. Yes, the gaming shelf is dealing with his own ghosts right now, it seems. So, you're going to do this in a variety of different ways. This could mean in something like in planning something, you tell her that there is a surprise, that you have something special planned for her, but you don't tell her what it is. You create a little bit of mystery, a little bit of intrigue. Whenever she asks you a question and you kind of dodge around it, or you give her some complete red herring kind of answer, or you answer her question with a question, these are all ways of creating confusion. You might be thinking to yourself, but Papa Jack, if you don't answer her questions, if you don't tell her what's going on, then she's not going to want to talk to you anymore. And that, my friend, is where you're wrong, because that is how guys talk. Guys talk to communicate information, to trade information and tell each other things. Women, on the other hand, talk for the fun of talking. One of the best ways to manufacture fun is mystery, intrigue, and confusion. You can use these to help make her want something more. Remember, We're wanting to leave her wanting more. So how do you do that? Well, you give her some hints towards something, but you don't quite give her everything. You create mystery, intrigue, and confusion. The next thing you should do to leave her wanting more is to ask her leading questions. Now, the easiest way to do this in a way that makes them want more and always want more and say, and be excited about the next time that she's going to meet you is you can ask her questions as you're going, right? Like, that's really cool, right? Hey, this is really fun, isn't it? Something like that. Questions that are leading questions, they're basically a statement that demands agreement. And most people, even if they're only half sure, like if they're 50-50 on yes or no, if you ask her, are you having fun? Then now she's going to think about the answer. She might give a yes, she might give a no. But if you say, hey, you're having fun, right? That makes it much easier for her to just say, yeah, you know what? Actually, I am. People will convince themselves in their head that they believe something if they say it. So if you can get her to say it, if you can ask her these leading questions, hey, you're having fun. Hey, this is really cool, right? Hey, that movie was great. That musician was awesome, weren't they? Okay, then you're leading them towards the right answer of you are having fun. This is a good time. You want this to continue, don't you? Like that, and she will want more, which is, of course, our goal. Number 3 on number 1. So number 1, part 3, is to have more fun. Do more fun things. Turn anything, even if it's something boring, turn it into something fun. Create games. Make up stuff off the top of your head. Say, if you're trying to do something, but it's a little bit boring, you turn it into games. Now, if you, depending on where you're from, I know that in America growing up, whenever we took road trips when I was young, my parents would make up games to play. Like, you have to see something that starts with the next letter. I'll go first. So I see an abiko curry. Okay, now it's your turn. You have to find something that starts with a B. And so if you're taking like a long walk or you're walking from place to place, like it's a 20-minute walk, but the subway goes really roundabout, so let's just take the walk anyway. And if you feel that the conversation is dying, you start to make it fun. You spruce it up. You should be able to generate fun. And you should be able to turn even boring situations into fun ones. Also, plan well enough so that you're actually having fun the whole time. I realize that I'm a bit hypocritical about that because I'm absolute shit at planning things. I don't plan ahead on things, even on dates. I usually just say, all right, look, here's where we're going to start. We'll see where the adventure takes us from there. No plan at all. But that's also because I know how to create and how to find fun. And if we don't find any, I know how to generate it. So if you aren't as good at creating fun along the way, then you need to plan well to make up for that. But if you're very good at making things fun, even boring things fun, then you're going to be just fine with this. But you need to keep this in mind to make sure that you're having more fun than she normally would. More fun than other dates that she goes on. Now, I forgot to say this at the very beginning, so I'm going to kind of back up a little bit. The main premise here behind never getting ghosted again is that if a girl is having so much fun with you, and if she loves being with you, and she's always looking forward to being with you again, then she's not going to ghost you because you are the one that she wants to spend time with. You're the one she wants to talk to. You're the one she wants to answer. If you're getting ghosted, it's because you aren't the most fun. You aren't the most interesting. You aren't her best option right now. And it's even worse if you're getting ghosted for like boring reasons, like she's busy at work. Man, let me tell you something true. If a girl says, I can't talk to you or I can't go out with you because I'm too busy with work, that means that you're so boring that she would rather do work than go out with you, right? Girls can make time for things if they really want to. If you're a priority to her, which you are if you're her best option, if that's what she really wants to do, she will make time for you. She will find a way to spend time with you. I understand sometimes, people actually do get busy with work. They have family obligations, whatever, something like that. But whenever she talks about that and she says, "Oh, I can't on this day because we have this big project at work and like it's we have to have it finished by Thursday, but I can meet you on Saturday instead." How's that? She will offer an alternative. So that's how you know if you're getting ghosted or if you're getting flaked on versus if she actually has stuff going on. And yes, Coot, that is exactly right. Lawyer tricks. Use leading questions because they work. There's a reason lawyers use them, and there's a reason that they're outlawed in court. Like, people object to that and they win those objections because leading questions are far too effective at persuasion. So use those. Use the tricks that are so good and so effective that they're not allowed in court. Use that to your advantage. Now, let's move on to part number 2. You need to create an irresistible offer. If you haven't seen it yet, there's one of our live streams from probably about 6 months ago at this point, where I talked about how exactly to craft the offer that you're making for girls. Now, if you've ever done any sort of sales or marketing or anything like that, then you know exactly what I mean by crafting your offer. But people don't think about dating as sales or marketing. But the fact is that it is. The product that you're trying to sell, the product you're trying to market is yourself. You're selling your personality. You're selling time with you. And you need to realize exactly what that offer is that you're making to her. Because there's no such thing as a perfect man. There's no such thing as a perfect offer. But there is a perfect offer for the perfect person or for each individual person. There is an offer that for that girl is the perfect offer. You need to make sure that you are creating the perfect offer for her. The best way to do that is to follow these techniques. First, you need to choose the right type for you and for your offer. Figure out what your offer is. What is it that you are bringing to the table, that you are offering for her? And then you need to make sure that you're picking the right type. So, for me personally, my offer is not, I'm going to take you on fancy, expensive trips. We're going to go to these amazing restaurants that cost hundreds of dollars a table or something like that. I'm not going to do that. That's not my offer. My offer is not, you can hang out with me and everybody's going to love all your Instagram photos because I'm so damn handsome and I'm amazing and all your friends are going to be jealous because of how sexy I am. That's not my offer. My offer is fun, is entertainment, is a good time, is personality, is things that you've never done before. All of these things make up part of my offer. So, with that in mind, which types are going to be best suited to the offer I am providing? I'll tell you what, the attention whores, they don't like my offer, right? I don't do well with them. Why? Because I'm not offering what they're looking for. Same thing with husband hunters, right? Or materialists or gold diggers, where they're looking for somebody to spend lots of money on them, to take care of them, to give them things. It's not me. It's not me. That's not my offer. So I'm not going to be trying to talk to those girls. Instead, I make my offer to the alcoholics. I make my offer to the shy girls who need a strong leader to have fun with. I make my offer to the worker bees who want to get away from the stress of work and just have a great time. That is the right type for me because my offer is geared towards them. This is why you need to craft your offer purposefully. Now, I did an entire live stream lesson about that. You can search on the channel and you'll be able to find it. It's called something like Craft Your Offer or crafting the right offer for the right type, something like that. And you should be able to find it there fairly easily. If one of you guys can actually find that and then link it in the Discord for the other guys watching, that might be helpful. And also, if you're watching this and you're not in the Discord yet, there's a link below in the comments or in the description box where you can go straight into the Discord. But you need to craft your offer purposefully. Figure out who the right type is for you based on what it is that you have to offer. And then you need to figure out, how do I show this? Because you can't tell her your offer. If you're having to use words to explain your offer, then you've already failed. If I have to tell a girl, oh, you will have fun with me, then I failed, right? Like, she should feel that. She should see that. She should know that, because I'm showing her. I'm not telling her. That is why you have to figure out exactly what it is that your offer is, exactly what you have and what you can do. And then figure out, how can I show these things? So, for example, is it difficult for an alcoholic to figure out that she's going to enjoy having fun with me? Not really. And I don't have to tell her why. She already knows the gig, because I'm drinking most of the time that I'm out. Hey, she's going to love it. But Papa Jack, doesn't that turn off some girls? Yes, it absolutely does. Whatever your offer is, if you're crafting it right, it's not for everybody. It's specifically for some types of girls. And is it going to turn off other girls and send them running? Yes, that's what you want. You do not want to try to attract everybody a little bit. Because if you're trying to attract everybody a little bit, then nobody is really attracted to you. This is how you get ghosted. This is how you get flaked on, because she's a little bit interested in you. And so she says, okay, fine. Yeah, like I'll give you my number. Yeah, we can talk a little bit later. We can hang out sometime. But then she thinks about it a little more later on when you're not right in front of her. And she's like, you know what? I wasn't really feeling all that into it. I'm not that interested in continuing this. And so she just starts to ignore you. That's how, because you're not specifically crafting your offer and finding the right types of girls. If you're doing that, if you're doing it right, if you're crafting your offer and you're delivering it to the right types of women, then they are going to be so interested in what it is that you have to offer that they're going to want to see you more. They're going to want to talk to you. They're going to want to hang out with you instead of ghosting or flaking. By the way, let me make sure. Yeah, it's in there a little bit later on. But one of the biggest reasons, this is off of topic number 2, but I'm just going to give you guys kind of a preview of something that's going to come later, and it's really important. One of the biggest reasons that guys get ghosted on or get flaked on is because they'll talk to a girl and they'll get her number or her contact, her Instagram or her Kakao or whatever. But that's it. They don't have a reason for it. They don't have a plan for it. They just say, oh, you're cool. I'd like to hang out with you sometime. Maybe we can get together sometime and do something. Here, put your number in my phone. Okay, that is almost guaranteed to end up as a ghost or a flake. Why? Because you're not giving her any sort of reason. You're not actually making an offer. You're just saying, spend time with me because spend time with me, which isn't a very good offer. Instead, while you're talking to her, before you get her number, you need to tell her something you're going to do together. That is your offer. That is the thing that you're saying. The you part is what delivers the offer. It's the vehicle for the offer, but it's not the offer itself. The offer itself needs to be an actual thing that you're going to do. We are going to check out this cool bar. We're going to go to this party. We're going to go rafting in the mountains. We're going to do a thing. What thing are we going to do? That is the offer. You are the vehicle for the offer that carries it and that makes it worth doing, because otherwise she would do it on her own, right? So you're the thing that actually makes the offer worth doing. That's why the you part and the types are so important to it, but you need to make sure that you are actually making an offer, that you have a reason for talking to her later. That is why you get the number or the contact, to set up the details of that, to actually clarify the logistics of what you're going to do. Some example of how you do that in Subway game. Yes, let me come back to that. Whenever I look at this question later, remind me that I was talking about creating the right offer. Okay. I'll come back to that in a little bit. So the next part of section 2 is to be better than your competition. Now, what is your competition? That is the key here. You're not trying to be better than every guy. You're trying to be better than your competition, who's trying to meet this type of girl for this type of offer. That my competition is not bodybuilders. My competition is not Saudi princes, right? Because we're not going for the same types of girls and we're not making the same types of offer. My competition is other fun guys who speak Korean and are looking for this type of girl. So my competition is kind of empty, but the competition that is there is very tough to beat, which is, like guys who are master students in Korean language, guys who are less handsome but more focused on intellectual pursuits, but I'm usually better than them at being fun. Now, they might beat me in terms of their Korean level or in terms of their wealth or their status or something. So, serious question. And for those of you who aren't in Korea, this part isn't going to make much sense to you, but for those of you who are, you'll understand what I mean. If Sam Hamilton and I are both trying to get the same girl, then who wins? That's actually a really tough one because he's definitely, again, like forget the fact that both of us are married and like have other, just take it as a mental thought exercise, right? If Sam Hamilton and I are both trying to get the same girl, he's my competition, or guys like him are my competition. I need to be better than him. I can't beat him in terms of fame, can't beat him in terms of status, probably can't beat him in terms of money. Okay, cool. So how can I beat him? I definitely can't beat him in terms of Korean ability, but I can almost guarantee that I'm a whole lot more fun than him. I know how to drive a date and to lead a conversation in a fun way. I know how to always make a girl laugh in under 2 minutes, which, by the way, is one of the things that you learn inside of the Anatomy of a Date videos, which for those of you who have already bought the courses, you've seen that you get the Anatomy of a Date course as well. We're currently offering that as a bonus. If you're interested in learning what I look like on an actual Insta date and how to make a girl laugh in under 2 minutes, definitely go over to realjacknorth.com right now. You can sign up for the Girlfriend Accelerator course, and you'll get that as a free bonus on the inside. But because I have these skills, I might beat him. It's a toss-up, depending on what the girl is looking for. But he's the top level competition, right? Now, what about the average guys on the street? Can I beat them? Yes. I'm better than my competition. I'm not necessarily better than your competition, but that's not the point. Because whatever girl you're going for and whatever kind of offer you're making, you need to be better than the other guys who are making similar offers to similar women. That is actually not that hard. You don't have to be in the top 5% of men. You just have to be in the top 5% of guys like you who talk to her. That is a much lower bar because most of these girls don't get approached by guys who are actually trying to improve and actually figuring out what to do. Most of the guys who try to talk to these girls are just trying to feel it out and see what happens, and we're just vibing. Or they're spending all of their time on dating apps and just hoping that a good profile picture is going to get them through conversations, through dates, through hookups, through future dates, just because they had a nice profile picture. That's not nearly enough. You need to have a clear offer. You need to know who you're talking to. You need to know how to do all these things I listed in part 1. And if you do those things, even if you're not that great at them yet, you're still better than 90% of men. So be better than your competition, but understand who your competition is. Now, today is an extremely exciting day because today is a 2 whiteboard day. That's how much we have to talk about avoiding getting ghosted, how to never get ghosted again and avoid flakes. Number 3, make pleasing you fun. Now, that's a little bit of a cheeky phrasing, but make it fun for girls to do the things that you want them to do, is basically what I mean here. And that means talking to you. That means coming out with you. That means doing things with you afterwards. All of this stuff, it needs to be fun for her to do the things that you want her to do. One of the easiest ways that you can do this is to create rules. Now, I've talked before about whenever a girl tried to flake on me on the first date. Shit just got real. That's exactly right, Australia Adam. It is very real. So, you need to create rules. I talked before about when girls would try to cancel on me on the first date, or they would ghost, or they would not show up, or they would send a message an hour before and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't." And I would tell them all the same thing, which is, no problem. I completely understand. Shit happens. It's life. That's okay. But I have a rule that any girl who cancels on the first date, I delete their number and I never speak to them again. And those girls would somehow find a way to change that. They would change their plans and they would still come out for the date. Why? Because they didn't know that there was a rule in place. They didn't know that there was something they needed to do. But now they know that they need to. However, not only that, but rules make something a little bit more fun to do, because then it's like something that you're trying to pass. You're trying to pass a test. You're trying to stay within the rules, because your frame is that this is a game. There are rules, there are rewards, there are consequences, there's this whole structure of things going on, and structure is fun. If you're just vibing, you're just feeling it out, you're just talking and see what happens, that has no structure. That has no direction. That is not fun. Whenever you start to create rules, and this also goes with creating games, because games have to have rules, don't they? So you're creating rules, you're creating games, you're creating a structure within which she can stay, where she can follow along with you, where she can have a little bit more freedom, where she can try some different things, as long as, again, she stays within the rules. Doing things like this makes it fun for her, because there are rewards to it. She feels good. Anytime that you try to do something and you pass it, no matter how simple it is, no matter how stupid it is, you still feel good for passing it, right? It's just a fun thing. So make it fun for her by creating rules. That is how you make it fun for her to do the things you want, to please you. Next, you need to allow room for imagination. This is something that a lot of guys struggle with, because they think, oh, I need to be very clear and very upfront and tell her, this is the thing that we're going to do. This is the plan. These are the different things that we're doing. You remember before I said you need to create mystery, intrigue, and confusion. Okay, great. So those are some of the ways that you can leave room for imagination. But other things, like saying, oh, there's a special surprise if you do this thing, or you say, okay, by the way, there's a punishment for whoever shows up last, and I've already written it down on a piece of paper, so you know I can't change it in case it's me, but I'm not going to tell you what it is until we both get there. So make sure that you're not late for the date. Something like that, where you let her mind run wild. What kind of punishment could it be? Surely it's nothing serious. Is it? Oh my. What kind of guy is this? I don't know. It depends on your offer, doesn't it? Depends on the type of girl. Maybe if she's a prude or a shy girl, it's something as simple as whoever shows up last has to do the chicken dance. Okay, that's kind of cute. That's kind of fun. And you don't tell her beforehand. So when you get there, if she's there last, you say, oh, okay, well, let's find out what the punishment is. Okay, you have to do the chicken dance. Oh no, I couldn't. Oh no, you're so bad. Okay. She's attracted. She's interested. She's having fun. Even if she's saying, no, I can't do that, it's because she feels shy. She feels embarrassed, because you're asking her to do something silly and fun. She's enjoying this. And now, next time, if you want, you can change up the rules. There are still rules, but maybe next time you say, okay, now, next time, though, you need to create what the rule is for whoever shows up last. And you make it fun. You make her look forward to it, which we'll get to in a minute, but you make it fun. You create these rules. You create imagination. You let her think of new things. You might give her tasks to do and give her creativity and license to figure out how she wants to do it. An example of this is I used to tell girls, okay, you're very lucky because I'm going to invite you over and I'm going to make my world famous pasta for you. But you are in charge of bringing the wine. Now, I'm not going to tell you what kind of wine to bring, but what I am going to tell you is that it's a tomato-based pasta with beef in it. Okay? So I'm not telling her too much. I'm not telling her exactly what the dish is, but I am giving her a task. I'm giving her the ability to choose what to do with it. Now, she could just say, okay, sure, I'll swing by the shop and pick up some wine. And I don't care, just the first one I see. But that's not what she will do because you're letting her imagination run. And she's thinking to herself, okay, he's given me this information. It must be for a reason. Maybe I need to look up what types of wine go well with a tomato-based beef pasta. Okay, let's look into this. Let's see what we can find. Okay, now what kind of budget do you think I should go for on this, right? She's going to have to think. She's going to try. And she's going to do the thing that you asked and have fun doing it. Remember, that's the point here. She's having fun doing the things that you want. And the last one, you need to reward her effectively. Now, reward, what does reward even mean? It's up to you. It's up to the situation. It doesn't mean reward her by like just saying, oh, good job. Here's some money, right? Like she's not like a fucking child or an employee or something like that. But you reward her with praise. You reward her with having the chance to do something else for you. Like, for example, with the rules I gave earlier, the punishment for whoever shows up latest. Okay, cool. You say, oh, wow, you did such a good job. You showed up first. So next time you get to choose the punishment and you get to write it down. Okay, that is a reward for doing the thing that you wanted. You wanted her to show up on time and to not ghost. She did that. So you reward her effectively. Now, it doesn't mean that you need to praise them like a dog and tell them, oh, wow, you're such a good girl. You're so amazing every time that they do anything. You want to reward them effectively, which also means that it has to mean something. It has to be genuine. It has to be sincere. And it has to be done somewhat sparingly. So you're playing beer pong with a girl, and she shoots and she misses. And she misses 10 times in a row. If on the 10th time you're still saying, hey, you know what? Like, that was a pretty good shot, though. It was so close. Maybe you'll get it next time. Yeah, I believe in you. It doesn't sound sincere. It doesn't sound sincere at all. Instead, you should go the other way and say, you do know that you're aiming for the cups, right? Like, you're not trying to peg them in the head. Okay, just making sure. And then when they do make it in, my girl, I knew you could do it. High five. Yeah, that's why I picked you for my team, because I know you're a champion. You reward them when they do the things. And you don't reward them for doing stupid shit or for messing things up. Instead, you actually call it out. I'm not saying punish them. I'm not saying be mean or be rude. I'm saying that you shouldn't give insincere rewards and compliments and praise because it needs to be done effectively for it to matter, for it to count. Now, the curse of having a mini cellar, both the wine and pasta are home. So what? So what? Make her bring her own wine. That's like that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. You can have like more wine for after. That's perfectly acceptable, Coot. But the point of this is not actually the bottle of wine, because whenever I invited girls over, I could have gone I was going to the store anyway to get stuff for dinner. I could have bought the wine. That's not the point. The point is to get her to do something, to first of all get her involved so that she's invested in the actual interaction, in the date, that she's coming over. She's already she's thinking past the sale of coming over because she's thinking about what wine to get instead of thinking yes or no, should I come over? So that's thinking past the sale is already an excellent technique for persuasion. But beyond that, now she's personally invested in it and she's doing something that you specifically want her to do. She knows what the rules are. She knows what the information is, and she wants to do a good job. because pleasing you, doing the thing that you want, should be fun for her. And that is the point. The point is not whether or not you have wine. You can have a whole collection of wine. Doesn't matter. You still got to bring it. Come on, girl. Show up with the wine. Now, let's move on to number 4 down here. Give it space. Give it space. Guys have a hard time with this one. Guys have a really hard time with this one. I've talked to a lot of guys who always tell me, well, I'm afraid that if I don't message her every day or a few times a day, then she's gonna forget about me, or she's gonna forget about the date, or she's not gonna be interested or exciting about talking to me anymore. Let me tell you something right now. There's nothing more boring and more annoying than getting a text that says, "Good morning. How are you? Did you sleep well?" Oh my God. You get something like that and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, do I actually have to answer this? It annoys me to get a message like that. It's definitely going to annoy a girl who's already used to getting that kind of bullshit from dudes who are simping over her all the time. Don't do that. That's why, first of all, you need to know, no needy or boring texts. None. None at all. Basically, your texts need to be something that matters. It needs to be entertaining. It needs to be informative. It needs to be showing off in some way. It needs to be planning for the future, like for future dates, planning out logistics, something like that. The only time that you should be texting girls is if you are adding to your current offer. What she has right now from you, if you can add to that with this text, then you can send it. But nice, kind, considerate, that is not additive. That does not improve your offer. If anything, it weakens your offer, because now in her head, she's thinking, okay, I've been chatting with this dude for 3 days, and he's already sending me good morning texts and asking how my day is going and other boring shit like that. If I date him more, if I keep talking to him, he's going to do more of this, isn't he? And she's right. The answer is yes, because if you're the type of dude who's sending those messages early on, you're going to do more of it if she rewards that behavior. So she doesn't want to. So she's going to ghost you, or she's going to flake on you and not show up. She's going to forget to answer. She's going to... This is my favorite. Whenever girls say like, oh, sorry, my phone died. Bitch, your phone didn't die. I've seen girls freak out and run to a charger because their phone went under 50% battery. Your phone didn't die. You didn't forget to check it. That is all a lie that she's feeding you because you were sending her needy or boring texts. You weren't adding to your offer. So, if you're going to message her, even if you're certain that I'm wrong, and that about not needing to message her every single day, you're certain that I'm wrong. Okay, that's fine. If you're going to message her every single day, though, make sure that it's entertaining, informative, planning your dates, setting up logistics, it's showing off, it's increasing your offer in some way. If you're sending her something and it's a stupid GIF or a stupid meme, okay, it's entertaining. It doesn't have any context, even better. You're not saying, oh, good morning, here's a funny meme that I found. No, don't fucking do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's making it worse. Instead, you just send her the text or just send her the meme. Anything like that. It's better than sending boring or needing texts. However, you really don't need to talk to her every day because you need to give it space. Give her space to feel like she's missing you. Give her enough space so that when you do message, she's excited to get it. She's not excited to get a message if she's already getting 10 a day from you, is she? Because then it's just, oh, it's just another one. Okay, cool. And even if they're excellent every single time, she's not excited about it anymore. But if you're only talking once every couple of days and it's only for a short time, maybe she's more excited about it because it's rarer. And that helps, right? Like scarcity increases demand necessarily. So when you make yourself more scarce, when you give it space, you become more in demand, and she is much more interested in getting the messages from you. Next, this one's very helpful for preventing future ghosts and flakes. You need to make plans or promises for the future. Now, this one, I'm not talking about like, so let's talk about how we're going to raise our children when you're on your second date or something stupid like that. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is you talk about something that you want to do. Maybe you say like, you know what? I'm really into boating and rafting, but I haven't had a chance to do any of it since I've been in Korea. You know, I heard that there's an area out in Gangwon-do where you can go rafting through the mountains. I'd really like to check that out. Maybe we can go sometime this summer. That would be fun. And you just kind of throw it out there while you're in the middle of a date. It's something to think about for the future. Good. Now you have her thinking about being with you until then. That is helpful because, again, you're using her imagination. You're letting her fill in the blanks and think through things without you having to tell her that. Also, making plans during your first interaction. This is what I was talking about before. You need to have a reason for taking her number or her contact. Whatever it is, we're going to go to this club. We're going to check out this restaurant. We're going to go see this concert. We're going to do this thing. You're making the plan while you are together of the next thing you're going to do. This is super important because, first of all, it gets them to think about, like, it puts them mentally in what's the next thing we're going to do? What are we going to do? I'm definitely going to be together with him. Of course, remember, we're thinking past the sale on this. So they're definitely thinking, yeah, I'm going to be with him, of course, but what are we going to do? Oh, we're going to be doing that thing. That sounds fun. I'm actually really excited to do that. Yeah, you know what? Now that you mention it, I have wanted to see that band. I have wanted to try that restaurant. Oh, that sounds really fun. Yes, I'm excited for that. You make the plan for the future while you're with her now of what you're going to do on the next date, or of what you're going to do weeks from now, or what you're going to do months from now. I don't mean setting down concrete plans yet, but plant seeds for things that you're going to do together in the future. Because, again, you want her thinking past the sale. Of course, she's still going to be with you because you're better than the other competition, because you're awesome, you're super fun to be with, because this is something that you want to do. And doing things that you want, pleasing you, is fun for her. So you make plans for the future. You let her mind fill in the rest. Next, you need to draw her into your world and then let her explore. This is why a comprehensive offer, a personal offer, is really useful, because she should still, months in, if you've been talking to this girl, you've been dating her every single week for months, there should still be things about you that she's learning, that she's finding out, that she's saying, oh my God, I didn't know you did that. What? You never told me about that. And you're like, what? Really? I never told you that I made music videos. I never told you that I used to have my own TV show. I never told you that I played multiple different instruments. I never told you that I've been to 30 countries. I never told you that I've been homeless a few times before. There are things that she should still be learning about you as you go, so that it feels like your world is, first of all, exciting, but second, has so much depth and so much going on that the more she explores and the more she finds out about you, the more she wants to explore, the more she wants to look into you, to find out more, to learn more about you and from you, that she needs to get deeper, because every layer that she peels off, there's more stuff, and it's more interesting, and there's always something new going on. So that's why it's very important for you to draw her into your world with your offer. The offer is what gets her in the first place. And then once she's in, you let her kind of explore. Don't go off telling her everything about you on the first date. Don't do that. Don't tell her, by the way, did I ever tell you that I da-da-da-da-da? Because then you're going to sound like an asshole. And you are an asshole if you do that. So don't be an asshole. Don't tell her everything. Show her, don't tell her. Show her the results of what things have happened to you before, so therefore the result is this person that you are today. And if she ever asks, oh, how do you know so much about international politics? Then you say, oh, actually, I went on a diplomatic mission for Texas, back in 2006, and whatever. Like, I'm making shit up. That's not true. But whatever your situation is, where she says, oh, here's the result. What's the cause of that? Oh, now you have something kind of fun to tell. Or you drop something in passing, like a little hook, and see if she picks up on it. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't, but she eventually will. She's going to explore. She's going to learn more about you. Make that exploration rewarding for her. Make it fun for her. And she will always want to come back for more. So, quick review. First of all, leave her wanting more, like I just said. Second, create an irresistible and intentional offer. Know exactly what you're offering and know who you're offering it to. 3, make pleasing you fun. Make it enjoyable for her to do the things that you want her to do. And 4, give it space. Let it breathe and let her enjoy it as she goes. So, if you do these things, she will not ghost you. She will not flake on you, because she will be always excited to talk to you again, to see you again, to go and do that thing that you guys planned again and again and again and again. And it will keep her coming back wanting more. Do these things and you will never get ghosted again. So, with all that said, that was a long lesson. Like I told you at the beginning, we had a lot to go through. But I'm going to bring in the boys. The boys. We got Julius and Paul today. Sadly, we are missing the kid today. He was up until like 4 a.m. Editing YouTube videos for me. And so he messaged me at 4 and he's like, I don't think I'm going to be awake at 6 for the stream. I was like, yeah, probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not, buddy.
He's been doing solid work for you, so
he is. He's doing
it to pass. Get to pass.
So is Taylor over at the Gaming Shelf. He's making some fire videos. We haven't posted too many yet, but he sent me one today that I thought was excellent. I'm really excited to show you guys. And it's about day and night game and some of the differences there. So that one will be up later this weekend, I think, is when it's scheduled for.
Good. That's awesome, man. I'm glad you're getting extra help on this stuff. It'll definitely lead somewhere.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, I'm good at explaining the stuff and like I know the things, but whenever it comes to like, okay, now can you sit down and make this palatable for somebody with like visual aspects and put in like the music?
Oh yeah, like slick editing, like, the thumbnail. Yeah, that's different. Yeah,
that is a skill set that I do not currently possess, and honestly, I'd rather just have someone who's good at it do it instead.
Hey, that works too.
Now, if you guys don't mind, real quick, I do want to answer Coot's question that he asked before. He asked, do you have some examples of how you did that in Subway game? I told you to remind me what I was talking about. What was I?
You were talking about what you're offering.
Oh, what you're offering. Oh, yeah. No, that's okay. Right. So how to create your offer on like Subway game. It's the same as Street, right? Except that you have a little bit of a shorter time frame to actually make something happen. But once you get good at figuring out the different types and seeing them, okay. So Subway or day game, right? Okay, yeah, that's easy, right? Like, because once you know the types, once you know how to actually show instead of telling, so that they get the vibe from you, whatever vibe it is that you're giving off, right? So for me, it's high energy, it's fun, it's exciting, it's laughing, it's yeah, we're gonna have a good time. Like this guy isn't gonna just he's not like a pure sex machine. He's not coming up and being like, "Damn girl, you got the goods. You coming over to get the pipe or what?" Right? Like that, because that doesn't fit my style. There are guys who can do that. That's not me. That's not my style. You figure out how to show them your style from the get go, and then you're able to figure out in under 2 minutes. You have access to the video where I explain the different parts of the conversation, like mastering the conversation and like each of the different parts and how to lead it. And in that video, I teach you how to, in under 5 minutes, start, run through the different parts, and end it by getting the number with a plan in place. That video was very specifically written and scripted. So that's going to have a much better explanation than I can give you here on the fly. But as far as just creating your offer, have a few ideas in your head of things that you wanted to do anyway. Like our pool season is over right now. So if I wanted to approach a girl and say like, hey, by the way, have you ever played pool before? No, you haven't. Okay, cool. I've actually, I enjoy doing it, and I've been meaning to go and play some. So how about we go and hang out, and I'll teach you how to play. It'll be a good time. You'll learn something new. All right, great. So that's something that's in my head, is something I want to do. Now, if I'm talking to a girl and I think that that's something she'd be into, then you make that offer. But if I'm talking to a girl and I'm like, look, this bitch isn't going to be interested in pool at all. This is a basic bitch right here. Then I'd be like, okay, listen, I saw this new cafe down the street that opened, and they encourage you to bring in your pets. So here's my thought. Let's grab my dogs. We're going to go over there and hang out in the cafe, get some nice, some fancy coffees. They've got, like their top shelf espressos or whatever the hell it is that these basic bitches drink. And let's play with the dogs. Okay, cool. That's another thing I would like to do that's off the top of my head. Yeah, that would be fun. Have some things off the top of your head, match it to the girl, but it shouldn't be that hard once you have a few things going on in your mind. Now, let's actually hit some of these questions. So we got some here in the Discord. Since the kid isn't here to read them, I'm going to be. Here's our first question. If she ghosts you, then after a few weeks, sends you a message all of a sudden, and you're trying to set up a date as fast as possible, but she ghosts you again. And then after some time again, you get a message again. How do you deal with this kind of girl?
Oof.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm with Paul on this one.
Luck. That's a red flag there. Because even if you get far enough with her, say you date her and you take her out, do her, she's going to ghost you again anyway. Who says it's going to happen again anytime?
No. Basically, what the behavior suggests is that, okay, she has 3-4 dudes that she does this to, and the first who replies, that's the winner. Yeah. And then when she's done with that guy in 2 weeks, then she messages you again. So what happens if you actually succeed and get that date? It's gonna be a fire inferno for 2 weeks, and then you're out on your ass again.
Yeah,
it's not worth it at all.
It's a repeated thing. It'll keep happening. Even if you guys meet, it'll just happen again. Something similar happened to me way back in the day. I met this girl, I think it was off of OkCupid here in Korea when that was still a thing. And she stood me up, not just once, but twice, right? And then I was like, this girl's a bitch. I ended up running into an Etoon by accident. She looked like she just ran a marathon, and she had no intention of meeting me. I was like, all right, you're kind of a cunt, but whatever. And then I set her up with a friend of mine, and she ended up standing him up too. So she does this to everybody. And you know what? Completely right or out of your life. Nothing good's going to come from this. Even if you guys meet, it's inevitable, man.
Yeah. I had a girl stand me up once, and then like she didn't message, she didn't do anything, and then for like 3 days later or something, she sent me a message. She's like, "Hey, I'm really sorry. Like something came up," or whatever she said. Right? It was bullshit, but she was like, "Let me make it up to you. I want to take you out tonight, and I'll buy you drinks, and I'll buy the motel." And I was like, tell you what, do it near my place. That way, if you don't show up, I'm not really out anything, because I'm not going out to travel again.
No.
And she's like, okay, that's fine. Right? Like if you're going to meet her again, you need to absolutely do it on your terms alone. But then, like Paul said, it ended up not being worth it, right? Because like she did do that, right? She did all that and more that night, and then disappeared for a while. And then 3 months later, hey, how have you been? I haven't talked to you in so long, right? And like, an absolute runaround. And
some girls have that cycle. You just can't depend on them. They message every once in a while. If you're lucky enough, she's just someone who wants to get the needs out of her system, and you're the guy to do it. But yeah, like most of the time, it's just stuff that just isn't going to lead to anything meaningful. If you don't have a problem with that, by all means, and if you're patient enough for it, well, Godspeed. But I wouldn't recommend it.
No, and even then, like, do you really have the mental energy and capacity to deal with shit like that? Like, honestly, with girls like that, with girls who stand you up or with girls who ghost you and then they come out of nowhere, then it's like, okay, cool. I'll let you come over to my place. Make sure that you bring beer and food. Right? Like, if you don't show up, I don't care because I'm playing PlayStation anyway. But if you do, great. Maybe you can hang out a bit.
Not just girls who ghost or just kind of fuck off or stand you up. Girls that also give you shit too. Like if you guys aren't anything serious and she's giving you a lot of shit and you guys stop talking for a while, and then she messages you again, be like, I'm not doing anything. If you want to meet, you come to me and you order the food, you bring the drinks, and you're cooking breakfast. And this time I want fucking salt in my food because I want it to taste like something, not that Korean bullshit. And you gotta, the ball's in your court. Like you have all the power here, right? So
Yeah, I agree entirely. When the ball's in your court like that, when you have the power, she's coming to you because she wants you. She already knows what your offer is, right? And so she's coming to you because she's like, actually, maybe that one was a good idea. Maybe that one was a better option. Yeah. Or, well, I had a better option for a little while, but now that I don't anymore, let's go back to this guy, right?
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the time when that happened to me, I would always answer like, I have a date that night. However, if you can do it tomorrow and you come here and bring food, then let's do it. Yeah. Because then she has to choose. She knows you, at least she knows whether you have a date or not, doesn't matter, but you are saying you are dating others.
Yeah.
So in her mind, so then you're like, okay, we can do this, but now it is on my terms. If you do this, you accept the fact that I'm going to go fuck around anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very important. I think with this girl, you got to do something similar to whoever asked this question. Just be like, I'm just whatever. But if you want to hang, I guess I got time for you tomorrow or Sunday, whatever. Just come by 2:00 after I wake up. You gotta set the terms and let her know that you're the one in control.
Come by after I wake up at 2 p.m. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, after I wake up and take a dump and play some video games and
perfect. I love it. Okay, let's see here. We have another question here. You have a nice conversation with her on the street or on the bus. You change numbers, but after a greeting message, she ghosts you directly. Do you have no chance of meeting her? Yeah, it sounds to me like you didn't make a plan before you took her number. You just took her number and that was it, right? Like that shouldn't be the case at all. You should set up the date while you're talking to her. Maybe not all of the logistics of it. Like you might say something like, let's go to this place. I'll text you about the address and the time later, right? So you have a reason to get her number to message her, but you should already know what you're planning on doing. If she's ghosting you within 30 minutes of exchanging contact information, then she was just doing it to be polite and make you leave her alone, and she doesn't want to talk to you. So that's okay. No problem. Just
don't take it personally. That's just okay, here, get my info blocked. That happened to me once, and it happened to me when I was making out with this girl hardcore. She's grinding all over me at Thursday party. I was so sure I was going to take her home. This is the second time. Got her digits. She blocked me the next day. I couldn't make sense of it. Maybe she had a boyfriend. I don't know.
But that happens a lot.
Yeah,
it happened to me also a couple of times. Some random girl you meet at a bar, and like we were the other dude fucked up so that she got basically the best friend got stuck with us. And then eventually we just, okay, let's just go home. And then she was super clingy, like, yeah. It's still 6 in the morning and everyone is drunk as fuck, right?
Yeah.
And then you take the first subway home. She's like sleeping in your lap in the subway. She wakes up like, yeah, this is my stop, kisses you before she leaves the subway. Remember, this is during COVID, so you still have to take off the masks to do that shit. And then she goes home, she texts me, I miss you, blah, blah, blah. Text her the next day, nothing.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah. It's some things just don't have an explanation. They just are.
Well, I think that a lot of girls who do things like that, maybe they have a boyfriend and they're just using you as a replacement for the night, or maybe they just got out of a relationship and they miss having a boyfriend, so they're using you again as a proxy. But then, whenever they think about it the next day, they're like, hold on a minute, do I actually want to get into a relationship with some random foreigner I met at the club that, like, I know he's not going to be here very long. And like, no, you know what? Let's just
it's just one of those things. You gotta kind of put yourself in their shoes as well and be like, yeah, all right, it's probably just a thing for the night. Like, I'm sure you guys, in college or when you're a little younger, have been called like, oh yeah, you're gonna be my boyfriend for the night, because you have boyfriends, but you're there, so you're gonna be the guy. And like, nothing ever happens. You get their number, they never message you again. It's flattering.
That happens a lot. I think I actually want to tackle Angel's question here, or kind of his statement. I've noticed some of these girls, they text you even to the point they seem crazy, and then after nothing. I think I learned how to detect them. Yeah. First of all, the answer is kind of in the question. They text you to the point that they seem crazy. Yeah, but probably the other crazy part about it, which is what leads to them responding nothing, is that you actually engaged. You fell into the trap of you messaged back and forth, and then in their mind, okay, this is boring.
Yeah.
Like, you leave them wanting nothing. They've gotten the thing they wanted to do. They dumped their emotions on you, or they're just ramble on about some crazy shit they saw, and then you kind of kept playing with them, and then okay, you filled what you needed to do. Okay, I'm not talking to you again.
I would say that whenever a girl is messaging you like that, if she's messaging you a whole lot like that, then instead of engaging with her, you should say, whoa, hold on, this sounds really interesting, tell me about it on our date on Thursday or whatever, right? Like, push it off until you meet in person.
A lot of mistakes guys make, and this is a good tip I saw in the chat. You gotta use your messenger to set up a date to meet in person ASAP. Don't talk to them too much over the app, whatever you use. Just meet them and then let them be crazy or whatever in person. So that way,
literally the only thing you can do by texting, it's either you stay at the same attraction level or it goes down.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only thing that can happen.
Yeah, it's nearly impossible to raise your attraction level through messaging.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? You can flirt as much as you want, but I mean, in person's always better.
It is.
Can't even compare.
And adding on to that, so this is what he mentioned before that. He said, I talked to a girl and she was very over interested maybe to meet. And she said, let's keep talking tomorrow. It's been a week. She never texted again. That's exactly the thing. It's like, she was interested to meet. Did you set up the meeting time? Did you set the date? Because if you did, then that's also the end of the conversation, where you say, okay, awesome. We're meeting at this place at this time. I'm looking forward to it. If you want to create some rules, say like, whoever is late gets some punishment, or if you want to say like, whoever does this thing has to buy the first drink, or whoever is best dressed gets to pick the first cocktail or something like that. And then you leave it. Say, I'm looking forward to it. Let's talk then.
Literally, she is even suggesting meeting and talking tomorrow. Like in that text, she says, let's keep talking tomorrow. Okay, that is your instant shot. Like, hey, okay, let's go to this bar at this time tomorrow and then we'll talk.
Exactly.
She's literally saying, "I am free to talk tomorrow," and then you're gonna have to shoot your shot.
What she literally meant was like, "Hey, let's continue this tomorrow." Where we?
Yeah, I am open for you inviting me on a date here. It's
okay. Hey, good morning. Like, no, you meet
you're
her.
dead.
Yeah, DED, dead.
Yeah.
That happens, guys. We all make these mistakes, man. Like, don't take it personally. Like,
yeah, we're not getting down on you, Angel, but we are just telling you how to fix it for next time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we still make mistakes. Like, come on.
Yeah.
We're not perfect. So.
Yeah, let's see here. Okay. I was with a 9 last week and had probably the best sex of my life. We hit it off personality-wise too. We actually started dating for a few days this week, but her family made her stop because the age gap was too big. It was a 6 or 7 year age gap. Okay.
Nah, I ain't buying it.
Ain't buying it.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. Like,
nah, no Korean girls
will ever
introduce that
quickly
quickly about you.
Yeah,
like ever introduce and say you're dating someone not that old.
Not in the history of Korea have Korean girls ever done that. I think she's using that as an out, and she used your knowledge of not knowing of how it works here to be like, oh yeah, my parents said no one does that. So I think that's just her excuse.
I think I'm going to agree with that. Chances are good that she was just making up an excuse. Maybe it wasn't her family. Maybe it was her friends, right? Like maybe her friends said like, "Oh, gross, you're dating an old dude," right? But like in that case, then she feels like whatever your offer is, it's not as good as the Shane price that she would have to pay with her friends. But if she was like, yeah, I mean, like he's a little bit older, but let me tell you something, like he's given me the best dick of my life. So shut the fuck up, you jealous bitches, right? Then you'd be like, yeah, that's worth it.
But I disagree. I think what it was is that the infatuation just came to a sudden end, and that happens. That's happened to me, where like, girls are just completely in love with me for like a week or two, and we have nonstop sex, and then flatline.
Yeah, and then you either say something that fucks it up, or
like you message.
There's so many ways to fuck it up, and it's just like what
they just have. They just look for so many outs at like a certain point, and then it just kind of like ends as quickly as it began.
Yeah, the honeymoon phase ends. Coot says, yeah, and that's true. And also, like there is an infatuation thing that especially younger girls, right? Because based on what I'm seeing in the Discord, right, and like I know this guy, and he's not that old, and so if she's 7 years younger than him, then she's pretty young, like probably 19 or 20.
Oh, yeah.
And so like, in that case, like she just got infatuated and she's like, yes, this is awesome. Let's do it. And then as reality of what was going on started to set in, she's like, hold on a minute. Am I actually going to seriously start dating some dude who's almost 30 when I'm just almost 20 myself? Right? Like, maybe get some dick for a while, maybe get a few free drinks and meals out of it. And then just be like, you know what?
Yeah. I think 19, 20-year-old girls, they're very finicky. You know, they just kind of they're in it for like a quick thrill and then they're out. Like what was it, about a year and a half ago? I'm in my mid 30s, right? I nailed I think a 19 or 20-year-old girl in Hongdae, and it was just like a one-time thing. It was quick. It was done. That was great. The sex was awesome, but we never did it again because that's how they kind of go. Anywhere.
I've had that one too, and that was also a 19, 20-year-old girl, and she was like, yeah, I only have sex with my boyfriends. Okay, you want to be my girlfriend? Yeah, of course. And then it lasts for a day, and then it's over.
Yeah. He's like, I'll do it. I'll say what you want. I'll do it all the time, but I ain't dating you.
Right, exactly.
So I'm guessing it's Crow who asked the question, and I would say
I
that might just be
he says
a way of trying to
It's
deal
her
with
out,
it
man.
earlier.
The
Yeah,
Korean
it's
girls
just an
don't
out.
tell their parents that quick. That
No.
if they to give you an idea, if a Korean girl tells her parents about you, that means she's looking to get married. That's how serious it is here. So there's no way she was telling her parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is why it very much sucks when you get busted on the second date.
Oh, Jesus.
I remember that one.
Exhibit A.
Yeah, and for reference, Crow, Lady North told her parents about me after we had been dating for like a year and a half or something like that.
Yeah.
And this is like a prim and proper Korean girl. It's like, nah, man, it's there. She's likely, and I make 1% chance, right? Anything's possible. Anything's possible. And who knows? Maybe she has a different relationship with her parents than most Korean girls do. Okay, so I'll throw you the 1% possibility chance, but 99% chance she just wasn't having it. But either way, right? Either way, the end result is still the same, which is whatever the offer was, it was not as great as her perceived cost, right? Because like if you were a fucking rock star to her and she just loved everything about you, then even if it was her parents, she'd be like, right, like I don't care what you guys think. This guy is amazing. He's the best that I'm ever gonna do. If she viewed you as her absolute greatest possible prospect, which I realize is a tall ask, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm not getting down on you here, but I am saying that whatever the offer is, the perceived cost in her mind was greater than the offer being provided.
And yeah, we're just letting you know because us three here, we've done that multiple times before. Yeah. Where a girl, she'll make. I've heard some of my closest friends. A girl will use that excuse on him. And it wasn't until like much later I'm like, oh, no, that's she was lying to him. She was just saying that as her out because people don't tell them about their parents, until way later. So
yeah,
I'm sorry to say that's just kind of what happened, man. You'll find a better one.
You remember Otter?
Yeah.
Otter and I were dating for like 2 years or something, and she never once told her family about me.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's not a bad thing because when they tell their family here, it's I'm gonna marry this guy.
Yeah,
and I'm looking for your approval. So it's like a big step up. Maybe they'll tell their mom, but that takes time.
Mm. Yeah. No, I think so as well. She said she viewed me that way, but her parents wouldn't pay for her college if we dated. Which, I'm not paying for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, maybe she was saying that as a reason to try and dig for money out of you.
Yeah, that's scary, man.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know your situation. I'm not saying that I know the answer, but
it could be. It could be.
Could be.
Who knows?
Let's look at this. Where are higher probabilities of being ghosted? When you meet a girl at least once or when you never met at all? Maybe the answer is obvious, but I'd like to hear from you why. Well, if you've never met her, then
there's no ghosting. In my opinion. It's like
I assume what he means is if you've matched on a dating app, but then you haven't met in person. Okay.
So we're talking about both. Okay. So I guess I'm a ghosting purist where I consider ghosting to be something that happens, after you meet, you guys want to meet again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Definitely, if you've never met, then she's more likely to ghost you because she's not as invested as if she's actually gone out of her way to meet you, or even if you meet her on the street or on the subway, she's still in some way going out of her way. She's stopping what she's doing right now. She's, stopping listening to music or whatever on the subway. She's stopping her shopping or something on the street. She's at least somewhat invested in hearing what you're saying and seeing what's going on. And so she has minimal investment, but she has some investment. Whereas in a dating app, she has no investment whatsoever. So, of course, she's more likely to ghost you there. And that's why 72-hour rule, right? Like if you match with a girl on a dating app, you have 72 hours to meet her in person. Same thing though, if you take a girl's number on the street or on the subway or anywhere else, you have 72 hours to be out on a date with her. Because if you're not, then you're lost. You're lost in the sea of everything else.
Yeah. You want to make that quick. I also concur. Ghosting happens more often when you match online or in text and haven't ever met, because there's no real connection there. I guess that answers that. If it happens to you after you've met, it depends on how far along you've gotten. If you guys just didn't click, or she felt like there wasn't something here, and you guys still haven't had sex or anything like that, then it's just things just didn't work out, and that's kind of why she ghosted. But if you guys have progressed beyond a certain point, maybe the infatuation ended, or something like that. And I'm sure it's happened to all three of us here.
Yeah, for sure. There is another thing. Like, you can basically say it like this: like, on dating apps is gonna be the absolute highest for ghosting. And then
no question
second to that. Yeah, and second to that comes girls that you meet while they're drunk.
Oh yeah.
And then you get your cold approaches during daytime or on subways. And then it's kind of funny. Yes, a girl that the date goes bad, she'll ghost you. If the date goes good but you don't have sex, she will not. It's less likely that she ghosts you. And then the interesting thing is, for the type of girls that I typically went for, which is the girls that are highly interested in one-night stands, they will have their one-night stand and then they will ghost you. So having sex doesn't necessarily increase or reduce the chance of being ghosted. It just entirely depends on what type of girl it is, I'd say.
Absolutely.
Lowest chance of ghosting you, probably shy girls.
Yeah, shy girls and prudes, especially if you've hooked up with them, then they're just much more invested.
Yeah,
they're much more.
It's something they don't do as often, so it's like a big deal to them when it does happen.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see here. Do we have any other questions in the Discord, guys on YouTube? If y'all have any other questions, type them in quickly, because it looks like.
How about reverse ghosting?
Reverse? You mean like when you ghost girls?
When you ghost, yeah. Why do you guys ghost really quick? I guess to buy everyone time here for questions, but why do we ghost? That's something I'd like to hear from you guys.
If a girl just
the elder gods here.
Either if she's annoying or weird.
Or in my case, if she's extremely clingy. Like if she's like really intense, I'm like, whoa, block. I ain't dealing with this. I ain't putting this shit up.
I wouldn't necessarily block them, but I do take a step back and I become more and more distant to see if she first understands, okay, if I text a lot, then nothing happens. And then if she just keeps going, it's like, yeah, okay. Just remove notifications.
I'm actually really capricious about things like that. Like, I'll block girls for things that are not their fault. Like, I know this sounds stupid, right? But like, if I'm busy doing something, if I'm I'm working on writing something, or I'm even if I'm just like I'm playing a video game or something, and my phone starts just and it just keeps going. And I'm like, God damn it, whoever that is getting blocked. And like, they don't know that I'm busy. They have no idea. Like, because if they were doing the same thing, but I was just already on my phone and looking at messages, wouldn't bother me a little bit. But because I'm doing something and they have no way of knowing that, then it just annoys me. And I'm like, okay, you're fucking out. Like, I'm not dealing with this shit. This is stupid. I block girls for no reason, or for any reason, or just however I feel, right? Because
or another reason to ghost is I feel tired of them. I'm done.
Yeah,
I've had my fun.
I know.
But sometimes, like, I feel I have to block them to just be like, that's good. It's not enough to just disable notifications and mute them. No, they have to be gone. Then I'll know the cancer is gone and I'll feel good. No, not a cancer. That's horrible. But like my booger, it's gone. I can breathe. It's good. I'm happy.
Like a booger. My point was that it's not their fault. They didn't know, right? And it's not like I
the
gave
real world.
I'm not being reasonable. I know that. But it's just how I feel. So like, yeah, I could turn off the notifications, sure. Or I could just be like, right, you're fucking annoying me. Man, you're gone. Yeah.
But what Kurt says can help a lot of guys actually.
Yeah.
In general, it's like, for me, my phone is on silent 24/7 unless
Really?
I am expecting something.
Interesting.
No, mine is always on silent. It's always been on silent.
No vibration, nothing.
Yeah, none.
Silent.
Even to the
Because
point where
I don't have time for that.
Yeah, if I enable sound on my phone, I find that the sounds it makes extremely weird. I'm like, what? It makes that noise when I do that because it's always mute. It's always just completely silent. If she asks for money, absolutely. I mean, what do you think?
If she asks for money, like, come on, man, that's an easy one.
That's horrible. I think I remember I was in the Discord and Paul, I told him on Facebook dating that this girl was asking for money. And I was like, Paul, what should I say? And he's just sending her this gif of her walking. I did, and I never heard from her again. Because she wanted cab money. I was like, what?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you remember that? Was hilarious.
She wanted cab money? What is
I was
this?
like, what? No. How about walking?
Give me money for the powder room.
That was that chick that her car broke down on the highway or something, right?
Yeah, something like that. I was like, well, I mean, stop driving shitty cars.
Yeah. Coot says, if you forget a girl exists, yeah, I suppose that you'll ghost her then. But if you've forgotten she exists, then like, dude, you don't have a relationship with this girl. You're not ghosting her any more than she's ghosting you at that point.
Yeah. But I mean, if you want to keep up with your stuff, you could always just scroll down in the chat logs you have and see who you haven't messaged in a while.
Yeah, you could do that. Adam says if she's crazy or if she sends good morning texts. Yeah. Okay. That's
if someone sends me good morning text, I'm just crazy back.
You're crazy back?
Yeah, like I've literally like every time that happens, especially if it happens very early, I'm like, what do you mean good morning?
What?
That is funny.
And then whatever they ask, whatever they reply, is just like, do you say it is? Are you trying to wish me a good morning, or is it a good morning? Good morning to be good on. And then I just keep the whole Hobbit thing because most likely, first they're gonna go like, what the fuck? And it's hilarious every time.
Yeah, that's my reaction. Like, I thought you were gonna follow it up with like, it puts the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
No, just like the Hobbit or something like that. Just something that is so unexpected.
Okay.
On that good morning, because they've never seen the Hobbit anyway, right?
Sure.
Odd, and if she understands the reference, then okay, then I'll let it slide, and then we can go on the date.
If girls ever try to message me in the morning, I never answer anybody in the morning, mostly because I'm not awake. And if girls try to message me, I always just tell them like, look, rock and roll doesn't wake up until like 12:30. Don't bother messaging me before lunch. It's just a total waste of time.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, I think that is it for today's stream. It looks like we've answered all of our questions. So, thank you, Paul and Julius, for joining today. And thank you guys for joining in on YouTube. Thank you guys for asking your questions in the Discord. It was a lot of fun. I hope that you all enjoyed it too. If you haven't done it yet, hit the little thumbs up button, hit the like, hit the subscribe thing if you haven't done it, right? Like, feed the YouTube monster. And also, if you guys aren't in the community yet, hit the link down below here in the description box. You can join the Discord community where you can talk directly with me, with all the other guys from around the world. You can talk about different things, make friends, share memes, ask your questions, get your answers, and do it all there. So, with all that said, I will catch you cool cats next time. So until then, Papa Jack out.